The streets are talking, the media is buzzing, and the world of hip-hop is on edge. Two giants, two legacies, and now a political street beef that no one saw coming. Drake, the Canadian superstar with millions of fans worldwide, and NBA YoungBoy, the street-savvy king of raw, unapologetic rap, are now on a collision course. It started with whispers, subtle jabs in lyrics, social media subtweets, and rumors of alliances that crossed both music and politics. Fans were shocked. Hip-hop blogs exploded. And everyone wanted to know the truth. Why were two of the biggest names in rap locked in a battle that wasn't just personal? It was political. Enter Tariq, a mysterious insider with connections to both camps. Tariq isn't just observing, he's documenting, leaking footage, and exposing secrets that some would kill to hide. Videos of secret meetings, studio confrontations, and heated arguments begin to surface. And suddenly, the feud is no longer a rumor. It's a full-blown war that could shake the entire hip-hop industry. As tensions escalate, fans are divided. Media outlets scramble. And the artists themselves? Drake and YoungBoy are silent. But the streets aren't. Allegiances are formed, theories are spun, and every move is being watched. The question now looms over the world. Is this just a rap feud? Or the beginning of a political power play that could change hip-hop forever? The streets were buzzing with whispers, rumors that refused to die. Drake, the global superstar, known for chart-topping hits and a polished public image, and NBA YoungBoy, the raw, streetwise king of viral rap, had somehow crossed paths in a feud that no one fully understood. But this wasn't just music. This was political, personal, and explosive. It all began with subtle jabs. Lyrics in Drake's new tracks contained lines that seemed to hint at street credibility and alliances that insiders knew were pointing directly at YoungBoy. Meanwhile, YoungBoy responded in his own cryptic way. Instagram posts, stories of street loyalty, and veiled references to conflicts Drake had supposedly been involved in behind the scenes. Fans were perplexed. The internet exploded. Every lyric was dissected, every tweet analyzed. Enter Tariq, an underground insider with deep connections to both artists' camps. He had a network of sources from the streets of Baton Rouge to Toronto, and he had been watching the tension build for months. Tariq had proof: studio confrontations, heated text messages, and even video clips from secret meetings. The footage hinted at a political undercurrent: alliances with local street figures, influence over certain communities, and strategic positioning in both music and social influence. The first leak Tariq released was shocking: grainy footage of NBA YoungBoy meeting with a group of influential local leaders, discussing community projects and subtle messages that hinted at taking shots at rival camps, including Drake's allies. The clip was short, but the implications were massive. Fans immediately speculated, was YoungBoy targeting Drake's influence in key cities? Was this about respect, music dominance, or something deeper? Drake didn't respond immediately, but the streets knew he had seen it. Sources close to him leaked that Drake was consulting his team, his managers, collaborators, and trusted street allies. Every move was calculated. Every lyric now carried weight. Drake's new track dropped with lines that were interpreted as direct shots at YoungBoy's credibility and street influence. Social media exploded again, with debates, memes, and reaction videos multiplying by the hour. Meanwhile, Tariq uncovered more. Texts between YoungBoy and certain street figures showed coordination, discussions of who to support in local events, and even subtle digs at Drake's previous street credibility. It was a chess game, a war of influence disguised as a rap feud. Fans realized this was bigger than music. It was a battle for dominance in both the streets and the charts. The tension reached a fever pitch when both artists were rumored to be in the same city for events. Security teams were heightened, fans camped outside venues, and rumors of potential confrontations circulated. Journalists scrambled to cover the story, but no one could get a full picture. All they had were fragments, cryptic posts, leaks, and insider speculation. In the midst of the chaos, Tariq decided to release a second batch of evidence. This time it was audio clips, heated studio sessions between YoungBoy and his close collaborators, where he discussed Drake indirectly, referencing power moves, influence, and the politics behind certain streets and communities. The audio was raw, unfiltered, and revealing. Fans dissected every word. The debate split online. Some called YoungBoy strategic and savvy, others reckless and provocative. Then came the public reaction. Rap YouTubers and street vloggers analyzed the clips, providing commentary that went viral. Every minor detail, a nod, a gesture, a lyric reference, was interpreted as evidence of escalating tension. Hashtags like Dasha Drake vs YoungBoy and street politics started trending globally. The story wasn't just a music feud anymore. It had become a cultural phenomenon, but the feud had layers that no one expected. Sources close to Drake revealed that he had quietly met with political figures, community leaders, and influencers to consolidate support. This wasn't just about music dominance. This was about influence, perception, and public image. Drake's team reportedly saw the street-side maneuvers of YoungBoy as a threat to his cultural and political positioning. At the same time, YoungBoy's camp doubled down. Secret concerts, surprise community appearances, and cryptic social media posts hinted at his growing influence in key areas. He wasn't backing down. If anything, he seemed to be amplifying the tension. Fans interpreted every move as intentional, every gesture a strategic calculation in a war they barely understood. The media frenzy continued. Blogs, YouTube channels, and podcasts debated every aspect of the feud. Were Drake's lyrics subliminal threats? Was YoungBoy's street influence challenging Drake's legacy? Was this about respect, power, or politics? Every theory was discussed, every angle analyzed, but no one had the full picture, except Tariq. Tariq, observing from the shadows, knew the story was far from over. Both artists were building narratives, controlling perceptions, and leveraging influence. But there were risks, mistakes, leaks, or a misstep could escalate the feud beyond the music world. It wasn't just a war for charts anymore. It was a battle for street credibility, cultural influence, and legacy. As part 1 closes, the tension is palpable. Drake and NBA YoungBoy are on a collision course. The streets are watching, fans are divided, and the world waits for the next move. Every lyric, every social media post, every insider leak could tip the scales. And in the shadows, Tariq prepares his next revelation, something so explosive it could change everything fans think they know about the feud. The question remains, will this be a battle settled in the studio, on the streets, or somewhere no one is prepared to see? The storm was intensifying. What began as subtle jabs in lyrics and cryptic social media posts had erupted into a full-blown citywide spectacle. Drake and NBA YoungBoy were no longer just competing in music. They were in a political and street-level war, where every move, word, and gesture mattered. Tariq, the mysterious insider who had revealed the initial leaks, was now in full control of the narrative. His sources had provided him with footage of secret meetings, conversations with community influencers, and even snippets of unreleased tracks that hinted at strategic digs at each other. The world was captivated. Every hip-hop news outlet, YouTube commentator, and fan page dissected the material like detectives in a crime thriller. The first major escalation came when NBA YoungBoy appeared at a surprise community event in Baton Rouge. The gathering was ostensibly charitable, but insiders reported it was carefully orchestrated. YoungBoy's entourage subtly displayed symbols and gestures referencing Drake's hometown allies, signaling a challenge without words. Fans who witnessed it in real-time recorded videos that went viral within minutes. Drake, ever the strategist, was not idle. Reports emerged of Drake meeting privately with influential figures in Atlanta, Toronto, and New York. These meetings weren't just about music. They were about cultural influence, public perception, and power. Drake's team worked tirelessly to spin narratives in his favor, releasing controlled leaks that highlighted his generosity, his influence, and even subtle disses at YoungBoy, all while maintaining his polished superstar image. Social media became a battlefield. TikTok, X, Instagram, and YouTube were flooded with fan reactions, memes, and heated debates. Hashtags like Mommer Drake vs YoungBoy, Mark Street Politics, and Rap War 2025 trended globally. Analysts broke down lyrics line by line, body language and videos frame by frame, and every minor detail became evidence in the court of public opinion. Then came the audio leaks. Raw, unfiltered studio sessions captured by insiders close to both camps. YoungBoy could be heard discussing Drake indirectly, referencing street alliances, influence over neighborhoods, and strategic moves in his music and public appearances. The language was charged, calculated, and unmistakably political. Fans analyzed every phrase, and commentators speculated about secret loyalties, hidden messages, and potential confrontations. Drake responded creatively. His new track dropped with a subtle but sharp reference to YoungBoy's influence, sparking a firestorm. Fans dissected every lyric, every ad-lib, and every beat, searching for hidden meanings. The track dominated streaming platforms and trended on social media almost instantly. Drake had turned the feud into a spectacle, blending music, strategy, and street politics into one calculated move. Meanwhile, Tariq released another bombshell, a series of video clips from behind-the-scenes meetings. In one clip, YoungBoy's camp could be seen coordinating support from local figures and street influencers. Another showed Drake quietly visiting community centers, engaging with fans, and subtly asserting influence in key neighborhoods. The contrast was striking. Both artists were fighting the same war but with different approaches. YoungBoy with raw, street-level energy. Drake with calculated influence and strategic narrative control. Tensions escalated further when rumors surfaced that both artists would be in Miami on the same night for separate events. Fans, media, and street crews speculated wildly. Would there be a public confrontation? Would security forces clash? Would this feud finally explode into something physical? Videos of heavily guarded entrances, VIP access points, and chaotic street traffic fueled speculation. Every fan wanted to witness the moment that could change hip-hop history. Inside both camps, pressure mounted. Drake's team worked on leak control, strategic social media posts, and subtle dissies embedded in new tracks. YoungBoy's camp doubled down on street credibility, fan engagement, and cryptic public appearances. Each move was analyzed, each decision scrutinized. It was no longer just a feud. It was a chess game played in public, where one wrong step could escalate into chaos. Amid the chaos, fans noticed an unexpected ally. Lyra, a mysterious insider working with Tariq. Lyra had access to both camps and began releasing subtle hints of cooperation and secrets that only fueled the speculation further. Her clips included snippets of meetings, text exchanges, and behind-the-scenes moments that suggested both artists were aware of the stakes, and that the war was as much about image and influence as it was about music. The public was completely captivated. YouTubers and hip-hop commentators uploaded reaction videos dissecting every clip, speculating on strategies and predicting outcomes. Twitter threads exploded with theories about alliances, betrayals, and secret deals. Fans took sides, choosing either Team Drake or Team YoungBoy. While some argued it was a battle that transcended fandom, it was a cultural moment that reflected power, influence, and politics in hip-hop. Then came the ultimate escalation. Leaked text messages between both camps revealed plans for a direct confrontation, not a physical fight, but a public showdown designed to dominate headlines and social media trends. The leaks hinted at coordinated moves, surprise appearances, and moments that could publicly humiliate or assert dominance over the other artist. Closes, the stakes could not be higher. Drake and NBA YoungBoy are preparing for a showdown that will be watched by millions worldwide. The streets, the fans, the media, everyone is waiting for the next move. The battle isn't just for music supremacy anymore. It's for influence, reputation, and legacy. And looming in the shadows, Tariq and Lyra prepare the next explosive leaks, moments that could finally reveal the truth behind the political street war. The question now is clear: who will emerge victorious? Drake with calculated power, or NBA YoungBoy with street dominance? And will the next reveal finally bring the feud to its explosive climax? The atmosphere was electric. Fans, media, and street insiders could feel it. Something monumental was about to happen. Drake and NBA YoungBoy had been escalating their feud through cryptic lyrics, public appearances, and insider leaks. But now the war was ready to spill into the public arena, and the world was watching every move. It began with whispers from insiders. Both camps were planning surprise events in the same city, scheduled on the same night. Security was tightened, entrances were monitored, and the streets were buzzing with speculation. Fans were camped outside filming every detail, while YouTube channels prepared reaction videos ready to go viral. It was a spectacle waiting to happen. Meanwhile, Tariq and Lyra, the mysterious insiders documenting the entire saga, released new footage. This time, it included behind-the-scenes planning meetings, strategic discussions, and subtle jabs between each artist's camp. YoungBoy's team discussed street-level influence, alliances, and the need to maintain credibility with loyal fans. Drake's team, on the other hand, focused on media control, narrative shaping, and using the feud to dominate public perception. The first confrontation occurred at a public charity gala, a night meant to showcase goodwill, but it quickly became a battlefield. YoungBoy arrived with a select entourage, street-savvy and confident. while Drake entered with his polished team, cameras flashing and fans screaming. Neither artist directly addressed the other, but every glance, gesture, and comment was scrutinized. Social media exploded as live clips circulated, dissected for meaning, and speculated upon. Fans online debated every nuance. Was YoungBoy's subtle nod a direct shot at Drake? Did Drake's carefully curated smile hide tension or dominance? Every reaction video, tweet, and Instagram story added layers to the unfolding narrative. The feud was no longer about music. It was about reputation, influence, and cultural dominance. Then came the leaks that changed everything. Tariq released a series of text messages and studio snippets suggesting that both artists had been secretly tracking each other's movements, coordinating with allies, and even planning musical disses timed to coincide with major public appearances. The leaked content confirmed what fans suspected. This wasn't just a feud. It was a calculated war, played across streets, media, and social platforms. The next escalation happened live. During a surprise pop-up concert, YoungBoy performed a brand new track loaded with veiled references to Drake. The crowd went wild, filming every second. Meanwhile, Drake responded with his own release, a visually stunning music video, dropping the same night, loaded with symbolism and subtle nods to YoungBoy's moves. Fans were obsessed. Social media platforms crashed under the volume of posts. Hashtags like Street War 2025, it's Drake vs YoungBoy, and rap politics trending worldwide. Tariq and Lyra, observing from behind the scenes, knew the stakes had reached a tipping point. Both artists had their supporters ready to defend them in every arena, online, in the streets, and in the media. The feud had become a cultural moment, reflecting not just music, but influence, power, and the politics embedded within hip-hop. The tension peaked during a joint live-stream debate, hosted by a prominent hip-hop media platform. Drake and YoungBoy appeared on the screen simultaneously, each with a wall of supporters behind them. The questions were loaded: lyrics, alliances, street credibility, and even subtle political influence. The exchanges were electric. Words, glares, and subtle jabs creating a charged atmosphere that fans watched live, replayed endlessly, and dissected across social media. Drake's response was calculated. He addressed his critics and YoungBoy indirectly, emphasizing influence, legacy, and the importance of respect in both music and the streets. His charisma, polish, and strategic messaging contrasted sharply with YoungBoy's raw, passionate, and street-level energy. The clash of styles only heightened the drama. YoungBoy wasn't backing down. His words were sharp, his references unmistakable, calling out subtle manipulations and hinting at truths Drake's polished image could not hide. Fans erupted online, taking sides, creating memes, reaction videos, and even mini-documentaries analyzing every move. It was as if the world had been thrust into a real-life drama series starring two of hip-hop's biggest figures. But the war was far from over. Tariq leaked another bombshell: audio recordings from a private meeting where YoungBoy's team discussed the potential impact of Drake's media control, and conversely, Drake's team analyzing YoungBoy's street influence and fan loyalty. The leaks painted a picture of two sides, equally strategic, each leveraging different forms of power: music, influence, media, and streets, in a battle that had no clear winner yet. As Part 3 closed, the tension was unbearable. Fans worldwide waited for the next explosive move. Would there be a direct musical showdown? A public clash? Or would the final act unfold in the shadows, revealed only through leaks and insider revelations? The streets, the media, and the fans were on edge. Drake and NBA YoungBoy had elevated a feud into a cultural spectacle, a complex war of influence that blurred the line between music, politics, and street credibility, and looming over it all, Tariq and Lyra prepared the ultimate revelation, a piece of evidence so explosive it could finally tip the scales, redefine alliances, and change the story of hip-hop forever. The question now was clear: who would dominate the streets? The charts and the narrative? Drake with his strategic power, or YoungBoy with his raw street dominance? The tension had reached a fever pitch. Weeks of subtle jabs, leaks, and cryptic posts had escalated into a cultural phenomenon. Drake and NBA YoungBoy were no longer just artists. They were symbols of power, influence, and street credibility. And now, the world was waiting for the final act. It began with a surprise announcement, a joint live event in Atlanta, a city critical to both camps' influence. Fans camped outside venues for hours, social media exploded with speculation, and journalists scrambled for access. Security was tighter than ever, but the streets were alive with energy, rumors, and anticipation. This wasn't just a music battle, it was history in the making. Tariq and Lyra, the insiders who had documented every move, were ready to reveal the final pieces of evidence. The first leak of the night was explosive. Behind-the-scenes footage of both camps coordinating secret strategies, revealing the depth of this political street war. The clips showed alliances, maneuvers, and even moments of tension between friends who had to choose sides. Fans watched in awe, dissecting every gesture, every whispered word. The live event began with NBA YoungBoy taking the stage. His performance was raw, unfiltered, and full of energy, with lyrics referencing loyalty, influence, and his subtle critiques of Drake. Fans recorded every second, posting clips that instantly went viral. Streets across the country reacted as if the feud had become a national spectacle. Then Drake appeared. His entrance was cinematic. Lights, visuals, and a meticulously crafted track that directly responded to YoungBoy's earlier performance. Each lyric, each gesture, each visual symbol was carefully designed to assert dominance, influence, and legacy. The crowd erupted. Social media exploded. Every news outlet and fan page reported in real time. The clash of styles, Drake's strategic polish versus YoungBoy's raw street energy, was mesmerizing. As the performances ended, Tariq released the final leak, audio recordings that revealed candid thoughts from both camps. YoungBoy spoke about respect, legacy, and the importance of loyalty in the streets. Drake spoke about influence, perception, and shaping culture. The recordings made it clear, this feud had been about much more than music. It had been about power, politics, and legacy. Fans erupted into debates. Comment sections flooded with opinions. Some praised YoungBoy's raw authenticity, others admired Drake's calculated artistry. Hashtags like Tar Street War Finale, Drake vs YoungBoy, and Do Hip Hop Politics trended globally. The feud had transcended music. It had become a cultural spectacle. Then came the twist. Tariq and Lyra revealed footage suggesting that the feud, while real, had been subtly manipulated by insiders to amplify public interest and fan engagement. It wasn't just about personal rivalry. It was a masterclass in influence, strategy, and the blending of music, street credibility, and politics. Fans were shocked, amazed, and completely captivated. In a final moment of drama, both artists addressed the crowd together for the first time. They didn't shake hands, they didn't hug, but their message was clear. Respect, influence, and legacy mattered more than conflict. Drake spoke about vision, strategy, and culture. YoungBoy spoke about loyalty, authenticity, and staying true to roots. The fans cheered. Social media erupted. The streets were alive with conversation, and then came the CTA moment, perfectly embedded in the finale. "This is your moment too," Drake whispered to the camera, while YoungBoy nodded subtly. If you believe in artists who push boundaries, in music that speaks truth, and in stories that shake the streets, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and join the conversation. Comment below, who do you think won this battle? Team Drake or Team YoungBoy? Your voice is part of the story. The screen faded to black with the words, "The war ends." But the legacy remains projected boldly. Fans replayed clips, shared insights, and created reactions that would continue to trend for weeks. The battle had concluded, but the cultural impact was just beginning. In the shadows, Tariq and Lyra smiled. They had documented history, revealed truths, and shown the world the power of influence in music, streets, and politics. The feud between Drake and NBA YoungBoy had not just been about rivalry. It had been about shaping narratives, challenging norms, and redefining the meaning of dominance in hip-hop. The story had ended, but the conversation was far from over. Every fan, every follower, every analyst had a role in shaping the legacy of this epic showdown. And as the screen finally went dark, one thought lingered in every mind. Who will be remembered as the king of influence? Drake, the strategist, or NBA YoungBoy, the raw power of the streets? The world had witnessed the climax, and now it was time for the audience to decide.